are going to be working on creating background images. It's similar to how you could put together banners, and as you can see here, I have an object called banners, and with this layout, the banners will be considered for the background image because we don't have a big banner. And so in which case, I'm going to go ahead and put in some open source kind of Google images that I've told Google to go ahead and have public. And so it's a very long, as you can see, string to get to the address of this image. But I'm basically going to go ahead and take some photos that I've taken of food, something relevant for what we're doing here. And there's a restaurants and a couple other things, a couple things I've just taken photos of over the years. And I'm going to see which one works best for my background image. And the best thing to do is kind of right-click and copy image address. And that way, you're just getting the actual image itself and nothing else. And from there, we can set the whole JavaScript up to say, whenever this opens up, just choose one of these, however many there's in here. We just choose one of these and have this list. And the JavaScript will just pick one. And you won't know. Sometimes it'll show the same one over and over again. It's just random. And based on however many images you have, the more options will show up. So I'm just screwing around here, playing with images that I have. My advice to anybody who's going to build out any images for their website is be very careful. Make sure that you're going to make it so it's legible. If you're going to put text over it, it better be able to be read. So that's the main important thing. So like pull down the saturation, up the contrast, or whatever it needs to be done to make sure that this thing is more of a background concept and doesn't get distracting and that people can still read what's on your site. Now, we're going to move on to put in some more of these addresses here, and we'll go ahead and show you how this all operates. We're going to be doing this to any number of things. As you can see, the contact's we're going to be able to plug in the email, the phone, and the address wherever will like. Obviously the contact, but it might show up in the in the footer, and so we'll have a class that runs through and populates everything. And so as we'll look through and take a closer look and say, I'd rather have this as built as a nav than as a container. A little easier for me to understand here for that. We're just going to do a little switching around, basically. Okay, I went ahead and threw a background onto this, and it's not really much. It's just a background image, and I wanted to get it kind of correct before I show the audience because it takes a while to trial and error what we've done here. So as you notice that this is not listing the actual picture. And let me show you what's going on here. Our pictures, remember, are here, the banners in this banner section. And for instance, I have multiple pictures. They're not as good, but I'll show you what happens if you have multiple. You can rotate. It'll choose one of however many you have based on this function here. What I'm asking it to do is swap out the banners at a random number based on however long the banner list is, and it'll show you a different image. And so if you look at it now, let's go ahead and run it here. You see how it's switching up? And like I said, it chooses them at random. And so you clearly need to spend time to get ones that look nice. As this is an example of what you would not want. You'd want to shape this up to make it work. And as you can see, when it gets back to the one like that, I basically just am using this one currently. So what I can do now, I'm going to go ahead and let me see here, local data. There. Comment it back out again so that I don't have to mess with that until those pictures are looking nice. That will be pretty much what we're going to be doing. It's just using this one. So we'll get those other ones nice, and then we'll be able to rotate them. Anyway, but if you look closer, you will also see in the body, You see background image here, and it has the actual image. And when I switch it out now, it'll stay the same. So, but that's what we'll be swapping out, is it's within the style, and it's going to be a direct applicant of the style tag within the body tag. And then, as you can see with the CSS, we can go through this real quick. Very important, make sure it's fixed. And important also that we do some covering and position correctly, depending on your photo. This currently is just to back off the spades and clubs that's coming in from my blackjack shared. This is a shared CSS. This is also, the blackjack is also sharing the footer JavaScript currently too. So those of you who aren't familiar with my work, this is going to be down here, the footer. And the footer in particular is something that we'll be bringing in within our restaurant application as well. We just don't want to be bringing in this one because it's meant for my private stuff. And so there will be social media links that will be listed within our local data that we'll be replacing it with. But it will be very much close to the function that we're doing here when it comes to how the footer operates. I just won't be using this footer in particular. And as far as the shared was concerned, I needed to turn off the background image that was having, let me see here. Yeah, here it is. I had to turn that off in case, so for our restaurant in particular, for now. And so that's what this is. Anyway, let's go ahead and get back into some of these other details. I feel like we can go ahead, and our next steps would be, we need to put in some details for when the home is here. See, there's nothing here. We'll go ahead and do an about. We'll build the contact, and we'll do the menu. And when you click it, this all needs to be cleaned up and looks nice. It needs to look nice. And over here, the sections that we're clicking, I'm also going to do the same thing as we were doing up in the top menu. I'll be making them active so that we know where we are as well. So anyway, we're on our way. We've got some interactivity. We know that the connections are working. And let's go to the next step. Thanks.